Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're getting into something really special. The idea of a truly custom machine, something that's as much art as engineering.
Absolutely.
We're focusing on the Arch 2SR Super Hooligan motorcycle.
And what's fascinating about Arch motorcycles, founded by Gard Hollinger, the designer, and Keanu Reeves,
Right.
is how they've managed to blend this really high-level craftsmanship with just raw power. It's not just about making a bike. It's about creating these, mechanical sculptures.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it, sculptures. So our mission here is to really unpack what makes this 2SR Super Hooligan tick. Why is it grabbing so much attention? How does it live up to being this bold, handcrafted muscle bike?
Yeah,
And how it's really built for both the street and, interestingly, the track. We'll look at the stance, the power, and this huge customization potential.
there's a lot there.
Okay, let's unpack this incredible machine. So when you first lay eyes on the Arch 2SR, it's obviously not just a bike, right? It's described as a visual masterpiece. How does it pull off that mix of aggressive muscle bike looks with this sort of minimalist elegance?
Well, I think the key is how they engineer absence. What's not there is just as important as what is.
Okay.
That handcrafted aluminum frame, for example, it's not just for looks. It's machined from solid billet aluminum, incredibly strong, incredibly light.
Wow.
And leaving it exposed like that, that's a statement. It says, we stand by the engineering. The mechanics become part of the art. Its pure form follows function, but achieving real elegance.
Right, so the exposed parts, the frame, is functional art, basically. And visually, you feel the power straight away, those wide handlebars, the imposing stance. How does that aggressive feel translate when you actually ride it?
Oh, it absolutely translates. You see the racing DNA immediately. That flat track style, low profile, wide pegs, the solo seat, it all screams speed and agility.
Yeah.
And the minimalist bodywork. That's not just for looks either. It cuts down weight. Yeah. Plus, every single 2SR gets hand-finished, custom paint, modern LED lighting. No two are identical.
Yeah.
It really tells a story, performance, dedication.
It sounds like every single detail, even the lighting you mentioned, is just obsessed over. Can you give an example of that obsessive attention someone might miss at first glance?
Sure. Look beyond the big stuff. Look at the billet aluminum components, perfect alignment. The stitching on the leather seats molds perfectly to you. Even the fasteners they choose. It's this philosophy where every single piece, however small, has to meet this standard of excellence. It backs up that whole rolling piece of art idea.
Okay, we've talked about the look, which is stunning, but, for any rider, looks are only part of it. The big question is, how does it actually perform? How does this piece of art feel when you twist the throttle?
Right, and that's crucial because the 2SR aims for this balance, massive power, but also incredible agility. The heart of it is this 245cc V-twin. It's derived from the S&S Knucklehead platform, which is, legendary in the American V-twin world, known for huge torque, reliability.
Okay.
This engine puts out around 130 horsepower. That means explosive acceleration, and maybe even more impressive, 115 pound-feet of torque, serious grunt for launching and overtaking. Plus, modern electronic fuel injection keeps the throttle response super smooth.
That power to weight is pretty wild. 130 horses in a bike that's only 475 pounds wet. Does making it that light, especially with that custom frame, create any unique engineering hurdles Arch had to jump?
That's a really good question. Yeah, the constant battle is lightness versus strength, especially for a bike meant to be ridden hard.
Right.
Arch tackles this with the sheer rigidity and precision of that billet aluminum frame, plus using lightweight bits everywhere else. So you get amazing agility, responsiveness, real control, whether you're leaning into a corner or, even sliding a bit. There's no cutting corners on durability just to save weight.
And the control aspect goes beyond just the engine and frame, right?
Oh, definitely. You've got a fully adjustable Erlens suspension system.
Yeah.
For anyone who doesn't know, Erlens is basically the gold standard.
Yeah, top stuff.
So you have these inverted front forks, a single-sided swing arm with an Erlens rear shock. It means riders can totally fine-tune the rebound, compression, preload, dial it in perfectly.
Right.
For their style or the track conditions.
Okay.
And stopping. Dual Brembo calipers, 320mm discs. Brembo means world-class brakes. You get incredible stopping power, even when you're really pushing it.
So it's got the power, and it's built to handle it with total precision. And it really leans into that hooligan racing DNA you mentioned. What does that mean in terms of specific features for that kind of riding?
It's absolutely purpose-built for that niche. Things like the wide foot pegs, the low center of gravity that's all about control during aggressive moves. The clutch is robust. The transmission is race spec, built to take abuse.
Makes sense.
And it has a slipper clutch. That's key. It stops the rear wheel hopping or locking up when you bang down through the gears hard before a corner. Huge for control at speed.
Ah.
And then there's the sound. That handcrafted stainless steel exhaust. It has this deep, throaty growl. Perfectly matches the bike's whole vibe. It's built to be exhilarating.
That's truly next level, the idea that the bike isn't just, fixed. It can actually evolve with you. Customization is clearly massive here. What's the thinking behind that?
I think the real genius isn't just offering choices, it's the modularity of the platform. It changes the whole ownership idea.
How so?
It means the bike isn't static, it's dynamic. It can genuinely adapt as your riding changes or what you want to do with it changes. Imagine tweaking it from, say, a comfy cruiser for a long trip to a stripped-back track weapon for the weekend.
Right.
You're doing that with fairly straightforward part swaps. It makes the bike feel alive, really.
So we're talking more than just paint jobs, like swapping wheels, street tires versus knobbies.
Exactly that. And you could adjust that Erlen suspension easily, too. Softer for a long highway ride, firmer for hitting apexes on a track. Arch even offers different exhaust, maybe something quieter for town or a loud race pipe for more power and, well, more noise.
And the look, the aesthetics, that's super personal too, I imagine.
Oh, completely. Every bike gets custom paint, hand finished.
Yeah.
So yours is truly unique. Lots of the components, handlebars, pegs, stuff like that are billet-aluminum, and you can pick finishes. Polished, brushed, blacked out. Even the solo seat. Leather, maybe Alcantara, maybe carbon fiber. You tailor the whole feel of it.
And for riders who really want to push things, performance upgrades.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can go for engine tuning for even more power. Lightweight parts, think carbon fiber bits, titanium bolts to shave off more weight, make it even nimbler. They even offer specialized racing kits if you're serious about competing. Reinforced clutch, race brakes, skid plates, that kind of thing.
So with all that potential, how truly versatile is it? Can it genuinely shift from being your daily ride to a track day special that easily?
It really is incredibly adaptable. I mean, it's perfectly happy cruising city streets or heading out for a weekend tour. But then that aggressive geometry, the strong clutch, it's a natural for flat track racing where you need that precision control.
Right.
And because it's tough and you can fit knobby tires, you can even tackle some light off-road trails, it just adds another layer. This level of personalization means you're creating something that's really yours and it can grow with you over years, not just a season.
Okay, so the 2SR isn't just looking the part. It's clearly built to be a serious player in hooligan racing. For those maybe less familiar, what exactly is hooligan racing, and what makes the 2SR specifically suited for it?
Right, so hooligan racing is this really cool blend. Think flat track racing, but with heavily modified street bikes, usually on dirt or asphalt ovals.
Okay.
It involves a lot of aggressive riding slides, drifts, wheelies. There's a real community vibe, but it's also about pushing the bike and rider skills. What people maybe don't realize is the sheer mechanical stress these bikes go through. It makes Arch's robust build quality even more critical.
Ah, I see. So the 2SR isn't just styled like a hooligan racer. It's engineered to survive and excel in that environment.
Precisely. That strong 12,245 cc V-twin. It delivers consistent power, but it's also built tough for that kind of punishment. The flat track geometry, low center of gravity, wide guars, the slipper clutch we mentioned, that's all about control when things get sideways. Being able to swap tires easily for different tracks is vital. And having that race-ready Erlen suspension you can fine-tune is a massive advantage. Arch has deep roots in racing, and the 2SR really shows their commitment to building bikes that perform at the edge.
It really sounds like buying this bike isn't just a transaction. It's more like buying into an experience, a whole passion.
That's a really important distinction, I think. It raises that question about value, doesn't it? Not just money, but the value of owning something genuinely unique and capable.
Yeah.
The Arch 2SR Super Hooligan really stands out for a few key reasons. First, exclusivity and craftsmanship. That's limited edition, built to order, premium materials everywhere, billet-aluminum, hand-stitched leather. It's rare.
And we talked a lot about the customization, tailoring it just for you.
Exactly. It's designed to evolve with you. That's a future-proof kind of design you don't often see. Then there's that blend of power and agility. The 130 horsepower, the massive torque, but in that lightweight package.
And it clearly honors that racing heritage.
Through and through. The flat track design, the hooligan DNA, having Hollinger and Reeves behind it, it has real credibility. Owning one is definitely a statement too, right? Individuality, freedom, not settling for mass-produced.
And that superior build quality implies top-shelf components throughout.
Absolutely. You're getting Erlin's, Brembo, parts built to last, whether on the street or track. And finally, owning an Arch puts you in this, like, passionate community, people who love custom bikes, love hooligan racing.
Uh-huh.
And unlike a lot of custom bikes that might look amazing but compromise on function, the 2SR delivers serious performance and style, plus it's genuinely versatile.
So yeah, it's pretty clear why the Arch 2SR Super Hooligan resonates so much. Whether it's the design grabbing you, the performance, or just that incredible level of personalization, it offers something really unique. It feels like a symbol of passion, creativity, maybe even a bit of adventure.
It really does.
Yeah.
And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Consider how that deep desire for personalization, like we see with the 2SR, is driving innovation everywhere, not just motorcycles. It's blurring those lines between mass production and true individual artistry in so many parts of our lives.